Well, g'day there, Kingdom Business TV. Delighted to spend this next little bit of time with you, talking all things business from a kingdom perspective. And on this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to stay motivated all of the time, which is a little bit of false advertising because I kind of think that that's impossible, but I'm going to give you some tactics and some strategies to best be motivated all the time. Hey, listen, one of the things I really love is when new people find the show. So if this is the first time you're watching or you're new to KBTV, make sure you give me a shout out in the comments and let me know where you are watching from. I love this little world that we live in right now. We are streaming live to Facebook, twice to my personal page, to the Business Greenhouse page. We're going live to YouTube, and we are on Instagram, all at the same time. So guys, what do I need from you? I need your questions, all right? This is a question show. You supply questions, I give you my 2 cents on them. So how do you do that? Well, basically just put your phone number in the comments below, and one of my team will reach out to you and get you on the show. And that's how we roll around here. Your questions can be about anything. They can be around sales, marketing, recruitment, faith, Bible, money, whatever you like. I am here to throw my answers, help you along your journey of building a business, which is super exciting. Hey, I'm not sure if you heard about the giveaway. We have a giveaway for you, which is basically a 9-page document on all of the audio-visual equipment that you need to be putting out great social media. So we took the time to put a document together that basically goes through good, better, and best for cameras, mics, lights, podcasting equipment, everything you need. You can grab that just by going to businessgreenhouse.com.au/giveaway, free for you. I just put it together because it saves you a whole bunch of time. So you can go and grab that at your leisure. All right, so we've got some people jumping on, letting us know where they're from, which is super cool. Paul McCasker, thanks for joining. Wesley Leak, Daniel Tate, Samuel, Rachel, Amanda, Bruno. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Rochelle, great to have you guys with us. Andrew King, so cool. All right, make sure when you jump on, you let me know that you're here. I want to see the comments. I want the feedback loop. Isn't it super cool that we can have something that TV couldn't have only 10 years ago, right? This feedback. We can be on live and communicating and typing, and I know where you're from. Beautiful world. How do you stay motivated all the time? How do I stay motivated all the time? Is a question that I get a lot, right? How do you stay motivated all the time? What people don't see is the fact that I'm not motivated all the time. There are definitely points along the journey where I am not as motivated. You know, like truth alert, I don't think there is a human being on the planet that doesn't go through ebbs and flows in motivation. I guess the trick is learning the strategies and the different thought processes on how to deal with the ebbs and flows so that when you're not feeling it, it doesn't slow you down or throw you off track. So that's kind of the thoughts that I've distilled for today's episode, okay? It's totally okay for you to go through ebbs and flows and lose passion and motivation and get up and go from time to time. It's just not okay to stay there. And so that's kind of what today's episode is going to be about. So stay tuned, make sure you answer, ask your questions, put your phone number in the comments below. My team will reach out to you. All right, so how to stay motivated all the time. All right. Number one, I actually think that one of the biggest contributing factors is to have a big vision. What do I mean by a big vision? I mean such a big, compelling outcome that you are aiming for, because I think by default then you don't have too much time to sit around worrying about, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because you are too busy focusing on this big thing. Like if you said to me, hey, my vision is I want to build, the largest plumbing business in my little suburb, yawn, I'd get bored with that by about Tuesday, right? So if you've got a big vision, that could be, it doesn't have to be a vision for your business. It's more a vision for your life. I would just hope that those two are intertwined for you, right? Like why wouldn't you want to go and build a national plumbing business that does $100 million? Or, by the way, that doesn't have to be yours. Yours could just be, I want a team of 30 because you currently got a team of 3 technicians. That's a big vision. 10xing a vision is a big vision. So, I just think that the more vision that you have, then the easier it is for you to, it just drags you forward, because the magnitude of the vision means that you can't afford to be playing small all the time and be second guessing. Maybe we'll talk about internal fortitude at the end, okay? Because I think that's an important part of this. But I wonder what your vision is. If you actually stopped and thought about it, I wonder how big the vision is for your life/business. By the way, the reason why I separate the two is because the business that you've got right now may only be a stepping stone to the grand vision for your life. It's an important part of it. It needs to be part of it, but it doesn't have to be the be all and end all. Right now we have a bunch of organizations, right? We have, obviously we have a coaching company, we have an investment arm, we've got real estate, we've got a bunch of this stuff. That's not all that I see in my life. I have a vision for a whole lot more than I have today. A whole lot more impact, a whole lot more, team, a whole lot more whatever. Okay, so the business that you're in right now is part of your grand vision, but it doesn't have to be the whole thing. What I'm saying, I guess, is the business that you've got right now doesn't need to be the one that you 10x. You might be happy to 3x the business you've got, sell it for a whole bunch of money, use that money to go and do something else, and that's also part of your vision. So just giving you a little bit of space here for you to kind of go, what I'm doing right now is a vehicle. It may not be the only vehicle to get me where I want to go, and that is also totally okay, all right? So, but when it comes to vision, well, you guys know mine. You guys know that, I want to raise up thousands of Kingdom entrepreneurs. That's why I'm on here banging on about this stuff twice a week and putting on events around the country. And that's why I exist, the Kingdom Business Network and all those things, because if I can raise up enough entrepreneurs, then they build businesses that are profitable, which means they can fund their church and fund projects. It also means they're influential, so they can, contribute to their community. And it also means that we now have a national voice with thousands of Kingdom entrepreneurs that we can use for good. All right, so that's my vision. So you think about that, right? That's never been done in modern history, that magnitude of conversation. No one's done the hard work of grinding it out and doing a TV show and coming up with content and answering questions. No one's done the little bits. It just means, and by the way, we're this far along that journey. It just means that I can't get caught up in, this thing didn't materialize by Friday, because the thing's going to take my life to achieve, or at least the next 10 years before we really get an upkick, I reckon. So because it's big and it's so long, I just can't get crippled by, I should be here by now, and I should be here by now, and I should be here by now. I can't be crippled by that. Because everything is an exponential curve, right? If I just draw this on here, success in anything happens like this. Meaning that, 80% of the time that it takes you is really just building momentum and getting a little amount of forward momentum, and then she kicks up at the end. So that's why I'm not worried about what happens on the 80%. Like, as long as I can see growth and as long as I can see momentum, I'm good. Because it's not going to happen in a short period of time anyway. Same as you. If you said to me, we're currently doing 1 million and we want to go to 20 million in revenue, yep, that's mostly going to all happen at the end, right? So what are you doing now? As long as you're seeing an upkick in revenue, as long as you're seeing adding more team, as long as you've got more marketing pillars to build a business, as long as you're seeing momentum, you should be totally happy to keep going. So I wonder how big your vision is, and if it's not big, you need to get a bigger one. And how do you find a bigger one? I'm asking questions of myself as we go. How do you find a bigger vision? Here's one strategy that I think most of us should do more frequently than we do. Get into an environment that you wouldn't normally be in, right? Whether that's, pack a backpack with a little bit of food and a water bottle and a Bible and a journal and go and spend a night in the hills, or, whatever, go to the beach for an entire day, no phone, no laptop, no internet, no nothing. Go to an environment that you wouldn't normally go to and be uncontactable for 12 to 24 hours. And just dream with the Lord, because he's put a whole bunch of gifts and talents inside of you that you need to work out what they are, to work out what he's got for you, to work out the magnitude of it. Every time we're talking here about a kingdom vision, it's always going to be way bigger than you as a human being can do. So wouldn't it make sense that you took some time out to dream? I guess many of you do the opposite. You start dreaming until midday and then work out why you haven't got any clients. I'm talking about actually doing it in such a time that you get real clarity and real purpose and real excitement about what you could do with a life. And then when you come back down off the mountain with a face that's shining, you'll be unstoppable. So I think that's a really important idea for you to build vision. You may actually have to go and do that exercise every 6 months for the rest of your life, maybe. Until the point where it clicks and you just go, yeah, that's what I'm going to go build. I think it will be a good opportunity for you to go and do that. All right, point number 2, how to stay motivated all the time, is to get clarity on what life is going to look like when you achieve something great, when you achieve the grand vision. What is life going to look like for you? The clearer we can get to knowing the outcome, the easier it is to stay motivated, because we've got even more little handles to hang on to on the journey. All right, let me give an example. Back before I understood kingdom, nearly every business coaching company in the world would do some sort of vision building at the start of their coaching program, right? The largest company in the world are terrible at this because it's all material stuff, and that's the only set of lenses they can look through. And I remember when I did a little bit of work with them, it was like they had this big document that you filled out, and it was like, what cars are you going to own? And is it a Maserati? And if it's a Maserati, what color? And what stitching are you going to go and have in the seats? And if you're going to have a jet, what color is it? And, yada, yada, yada. Now, and what watch are you going to have? And you can't just say, I want the Breitling. Which one? And what color band? And what colored face? So all of them, unfortunately, theirs is just a material worldview. Ours is obviously bigger than that, because we're playing for something bigger. We're playing for people, playing for kingdoms. But it's the same process. If you actually took the time to really get clear on what life is going to look like for you when you have the business doing 10 mil versus 1, or whatever your vision is, what's it going to look like for you to have enough cash flow that you're not on the tools every day? What is that going to look like, feel like, taste like? What are you going to do with that time? What's life going to look like for you when you're able to help companies with charities or churches with big checks, right? So it's great to be putting in ongoing giving. We need to be doing that, as you know. But there's something to be said for you selling a business for 30 million and then being able to sit there, and when your church come to you and say, hey, we want to do something in the community, you go, I've got it covered. What's that gonna look like, feel like, taste like? Think about the end game, the vision, the fruit of all of this. If you can get clear on how that's gonna feel, how it's gonna look, how you're gonna do it, how much you're gonna enjoy it, the emotions it's gonna bring to your life, that is gonna anchor you so much to a point in the future where you won't be thrown off by a bad day or a bad half day or a bad few days, because you'll be able to taste and see the end game. So as much clarity as you can get. Now, it's okay, by the way, if you said, I do want to have a nice watch, have a nice watch. I couldn't care less. If you want to have a Maserati, have a Maserati. You'll soon realize that it's not that fun anyway. It'll be fun, and you drive around, but you'll soon realize that, you know, the reason why you bought the Maserati was to look good in front of your friends, and you'll realize, well, hang on a minute, my friends think I'm an idiot, so I'll just get rid of the car. So all of those things are fine to have, but they're not, they're only going to motivate you until they don't. The true motivation that lasts all of the time throughout all of this is becoming the person you're meant to be and enjoying, you know, the fruits of the hard work in terms of what you could do for other people. Anything short of that is temporary motivation. And it's okay to have temporary motivation. I'm going to talk about that next. But it's not going to be lasting. So you need to get really, really clear on what your life is going to look like when you're achieving the vision. The person you've become, the people around you, you know, the networks you've got, your ability to fund projects. If you can get really clear on what that looks like, that will have a greater impact on your motivation than any material stuff. All right, number 3, and this one's really important as well. You need to have short and long-term goals and rewards. I don't know what it is about business people, but they tend to not want to reward themselves when things go well. They'll happily beat themselves up when they're going bad, but they won't reward themselves when things are going well. You've got to be able to look at a small window of time and say, I just need to get here. And when I do that, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to aim for this level. And when I hit that, I'm going to do this. And so it's really important for me that you have, I mean, that's why we make our clients fill in a 90-day plan, 13 weeks, 12 weeks of work, 1 review week. And at the end of that, you've got a big quarterly goal, you've got a reward and a punishment. So every 90 days, we have our clients run on these tracks, and it drags them forward to their bright future. Okay, they set them, we help them, but it's that short milestone, 90 days. I just need to run through this 90 days, achieve this outcome. Great. Take stock and reward myself. Then have the reward. It tells the brain, yep, you should do this again next 90 days. Next 90 days, next 90 days, next 90 days. We hit a 90-day plan as a team last 90 days, and next Friday we're going to the shooting range with big guns, and we're going to blow some stuff up. So why? Well, if we don't have rewards, and if we don't enjoy it, then we won't want to stick to it, okay? So we're going to go and shoot up some stuff. I don't mean heroin. I mean, I don't know, clay or targets or something like that. So you've got to have those. And by the way, and you've got to have long-term, you know? I guess here's what I mean. I set a goal 8 years and 6 months ago. And I got up every single day. Now, this was a monetary goal centered around real estate. I got up every day with this goal in front of me, every day. Go into the marketplace, you know, do some business, make some money, achieve the goal, chip away. 8 years and 6 months until it was finally achieved. And so that was a couple of months ago that we hit that milestone. And so what are we doing? We're going to Fiji as a family. 8 days, Fiji, beautiful resort, snorkeling, hiring boats. Who knows what else will happen when we get there. Why? It's the reward. We did the work. We worked hard. Every single day I slaved to try and make a little bit more. Every day I made more calls. Every day I sold more time. Every day I saw more people. Every day I banked more money. Every day I used that money. Every day. Chip. 8 years and 6 months until finally it came together. And now there is a reward. Why? Because I'm thinking about setting another stupid 8-year and 6-month goal. So I'm going to need something even better at the end of that one. But I need to take that time to tell my mind that there is a trade-off for the hard work. So it doesn't matter to me whether your goals and your rewards are 8 years and 6 months out, 1 year out, 90 days out, or it doesn't even bother me if you said, I've got to get to Friday because I'm not in this right now and I'm flat and I'm not passionate and I don't want to do it and it's like walking through mud. Just get yourself to Friday, hit a target and give yourself a little reward. Obviously, all things have got to be in line. You can't be getting yourself to Friday and taking a week in Fiji. All right, the payoff is too big So it needs to be get myself to Friday, do something I wouldn't normally do. All right, that might mean whatever, go see a movie, go to your favorite restaurant, whatever, spend some time doing something you enjoy. I was listening to a podcast the other day, listening to a running podcast by America's best long distance runner. And it was a really interesting, there was a whole bunch on this podcast, but one of the things that he said, which I found really interesting, is just run the mile you're in, right? So they talk about doing 250-mile races, obviously in America, and he was like, sometimes you just can't get your head around that. Sometimes you just need to run the mile you're in, because at the end of that one, then you can just run the mile you're in, and at the end of that one, just run the mile you're in, and before you know it, you get somewhere. And I think that's really important in terms of motivation. Sometimes when you're not motivated, you've just got to get through today, these 3 days, this big pitch, this event, this week, all right? And it's totally okay to have those short-term goals and short-term rewards of like, when I do this, I'm going to be here. Because by then, you'll change the way you think, you'll be better, and everything will be okay. And the fourth one for me, which is really important, is perspective. And this is where, for me, I trick my brain. If I'm not feeling it, if I'm feeling like I'm, flat, not motivated, this is one of my strategies for tricking myself into getting back on the game. And what I do is I take a step back and I go, okay, but what else am I going to do? What else would I do? And so what I do is I switch the motivation and I go, all right, well, let's explore what else I could do with my life. That's right, I could go and get a job. And I don't even probably think that I finished thinking that thought before I break out in sweats. At the thought of being told everything, having to go back to whatever, and the structure, the thought of the opposite of the thing that I'm in usually scares me so much that I'll just fully go back to the one that I'm unhappy with because the trade-off is better, it's actually better, and I was just being a little Nancy whinging, right? If you actually take a step back and do a what if, you usually immediately realize that what you're facing right now is nowhere near as bad as the alternative. And so I think business people can tend to be a little bit grass is greener, right? It ain't greener anywhere except where you stay and water it. I think it was the prophet Taylor Swift who said that, or the prophet Gaga in one of those silly songs. She said, the grass isn't greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. And it's true. If you actually take a step back and look at perspective, you'll be way better off because you'll realize that the alternatives are not rosy. The alternatives are worse than the one you're in, so you might as well stay in the one you're in, trick yourself into being motivated and go again. The payoff will be there, the joy is going to be there, and all of those things, all right? So that's how you do it. And so I guess this internal fortitude is really interesting for me because, as I've said many times, like a broken record, if you want to build something great in business, it's going to take you a decade. You'll probably get some results in year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but to actually build something great, big business, team, revenue, consistent, stable, 10 years, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus years. And most people don't have the internal fortitude to do that. And when you look at the growth curve, if it's a 10-year journey, you're really only seeing motivation from year 3, 4, 5, and even then it's minute. 6 and 7, you start to see some progress, and 8, 9, 10 is when you make all your money and when you get to see the big upkick. So don't be put off by the fact that momentum is hard in the early stages. But I've got so many friends, right, who have done nothing great with their life. They were full of potential, had the skills, had the knowledge, but they can't stay at something past the point where it gets hard. It's like when things get hard, they go and jump ship and do something different. And then they think that the grass is greener over there, so they go in all guns are blazing, boots and all, into that new thing, and they'll run at that for 6 to 12 months, and they'll realize it's just as hard as the last thing. I think I'll go try something else. They'll go and try something completely different. They'll run at that for 6 to 12 months, realize that's just as hard, and go and find something else. I've got friends that are on their 7th or 8th venture, realizing that all of them are hard. So, and I'm sitting here going, well, hang on a minute, wouldn't it make sense that you found, what was the common denominator between all 8 ventures? Me. Why don't I work on me so that it's not so hard? Because I know that if this person or these friends that I know, if they had stuck to any of those things for the time, they'd be in a better position than they are today, because they would have pushed through it and life would have been better. But you've got to have that internal fortitude to stick to it. You are better off sticking to something that works and building it than you are, keep engineering new ways to try new things. Once you get a golden vein, even if it's a small one, you chase that thing until the very end. All right. Well, guys, how do you submit questions? You put your phone number in the comments below. That's what you do. And then my team will reach out to you. Am I going to screw up your shot here, Pat? You got one? Yeah. Who? Cam. Oh, he's calling? Good. Cam. Cam, it's Wez Hone. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hey,
Gotcha. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
I got you now. How are you?
I'm really good.
That's good. So I just had a bit of a technology failure on me.
Bit of a blowout. Yeah. What can I help you with, mate?
Hey, look, we're trying to chase off a bit more work at the moment, growing our team. A little bit quiet. I just need a bit of look, I've got to go and do cold calls. I hate them. I just want a bit of motivation, a little bit of advice.
You want some motivation to go and do cold calls. How many cold calls do you need to do?
More?
Give me. Okay. Let's get really honest here, Cam. How many have you done?
How many have I done? Probably 10 in total.
How many do you need to do?
Probably 100.
So you need to do 90 more.
I would say I would, yeah.
Okay, good. I like that. 90 more is a huge amount of momentum. That's a really good thing. How long do they typically take?
30 seconds tops.
Okay, so let's allow 1 minute, right? Because that's, let's just say you got excited with some of them. So we're talking here about 90 minutes. We're talking here about 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, how about this then? When would you do them? Like, obviously, so you say you're a little bit quiet right now. Like, now's a good time. Give me an actual time in your diary where you could either do 1.5 hours of calls or, 2 lots of 45 minutes or 3 lots of half an hour. What would that look like for you?
Sure. Well, I mean, this week I could do almost any time. What would be the best time? I'm tipping before lunch would be ideal.
Yeah, before or after lunch. So leave early morning and late afternoon out because people don't care too much for calls at that time. And then maybe even during lunch. There's actually 50-50 on whether you should call during lunch because often you go past the gatekeeper because they're out at lunch. So you'd have to test that one just to see how that works. All right. So are you telling me that you could do 1.5 hours of calls by Friday this week?
I could, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you just need a little bit of motivation to do it.
Yeah. Well, I stumble over my words, and I don't feel I'm putting my best foot forward when I do it.
Well, that's not motivation. That's just excuses. So let's work out which one is it now? Is it that you're not motivated, or you don't feel like you're good enough?
I think it's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'd say it's more the latter. I don't really know what to say, so I don't sound like a sleazy salesman.
Great.
If that makes sense.
What are you trying to get from the call? What's the outcome? What's the call to action? What's the loop?
To be able to go to site and do some quotes, have a look at jobs and do quotes for end clients.
Okay, so are we dealing with builders or clients of a certain size here who that's too much of a jump? Should we be trying to do a call for one step and not the end? Like we're trying to get quotes, but is the purpose of the call to get a meeting or to send them some information? Or are you literally doing a call to say I want to do quotes?
Yeah, so my with the cold calls, I wasn't looking at calling builders. I was looking at calling clients who might need just some small service work done or anything like that.
Are these past clients?
Or any extras? No.
Okay. Where did you get the list of prospects from that you're going to call?
I'm just on Yellow Pages online.
Love it.
Yeah.
See that? Listen to that, people. Straight out of the Yellow Pages. People say, I don't have a list. Yellow Pages have got one. The White Pages have got one.
Yeah.
Just start ringing. Okay. So So the outcome is I want to come and do a quote, right? That's great. And so we're dealing with residential, domestic people here. Is that, am I right? Or are you doing B2B?
No, looking at more offices and whatnot. So
okay.
If they need some extra power, extra,
Okay, good.
stuff. So yeah.
All right. So now, why don't you take me through what you said for the last 10, give or take? What would you say to them?
Basically introduce myself, the company, what we do.
Yep.
And then just go straight for the kill and go, is there any, are you interested in these services? Do you need electricians? Do you need anything done? And that's generally where the phone call finishes.
Yep. Well, remember, understand that, I don't know what your expectations are, but out of 100 phone calls, I would probably only expect you to get 4 or 5 opportunities to quote.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to be any higher than that. That's just a case of you having to, suck up the fact that 95 are going to say no, which is totally okay because it gets you closer to a yes. The only thing I would change is rather than going straight for the kill, I would probably ask a couple of questions to enroll them in the journey. So whatever kind of questions you would normally ask, whatever information you need. Is there a need there for PowerPoints? Is there a need there for data cabling? Is everybody whatever questions you think these people need answered, I would probably, rather than just go, hi, my name's this company and I want to come out, I would probably pause a little bit and put a couple of questions in there. And the reason why we do this is just to get them on the journey with you rather than them feel like they were just strangled to death. Right?
Sure.
So it's just a nicer way to have a conversation. So yes, do the whole, this is me and this is what we stand for and this is our company, but also find a way to engage with them through asking them questions. Because when they're giving you their answers, that's effectively your ammunition at the end to say, well, I need to come out then, don't I? Because it sounds like you've got some work. All right?
Yeah, sure.
But I wouldn't just go straight for the jugular because it's too easy for people to be like, not interested. Whereas when you ask questions, and they're giving you a few nods and a few yeses and some ums, then it's harder for them to back out.
Yep, like it.
Now, so I have a feeling like, I can hear you on the phone right now. You're very articulate and confident. So I actually don't think you have a confidence issue. I think you have, maybe sitting down for 30 seconds and writing a better script would be part of it. And then I think there's probably something else at play, and that's whatever. Don't value it, don't really want to do it, scared of it, something like that. And if that's the case, then, I guess we've got to look at the trade-off here. For somebody who says to me, I need some motivation to do this, what I can distill from that conversation is I can see that they don't feel like the pain of today is big enough to justify changing tomorrow, right?
That's a good point.
If you were absolutely committed and you had a big enough reason, you'd do anything. So a lot of people can sit in a place that's uncomfortable for a long time because it's not so uncomfortable that they can't bear it. And by the way, that's the worst place to be because it doesn't help anybody. Yeah. So we actually have to build the dissatisfaction with the way things are right now. We actually have to build dissatisfaction to motivate us to want to go do it. So let me ask you this.
That's good.
Cam, how many kids you got?
Yeah, 2.
2 kids. How old?
8 and 6.
8 and 6. So, just thinking on your behalf, just thinking about the 8-year-old. Is the 8-year-old a boy or a girl?
Girl.
Girl, yeah. So that 8-year-old girl, who is going to get married one day, is going to meet her prince. And, I kind of feel like, wouldn't it have made sense that her daddy took her to a chateau in France to kind of, show her that she's valuable and worth all those things and a beautiful person and all of that before she ever runs away with her future husband?
Yep.
Yeah. Wouldn't you have liked to have taken your 2 kids to Disneyland and just had, 2 weeks out of the business where you just, wore silly clothes and spoke to, characters and rode rides? Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a nice thing to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, totally.
How many things do you want me to list that you're not going to get to do if you stay as you are?
I think that's enough. I think I'm on it now. Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to
Yeah.
be a tough call when you look at the 6-year-old boy and you go, yeah, sorry, mate, all your friends are going somewhere, but you're not.
Yeah, because I didn't pick up the phone.
It's think about it this way. Let's say you did want to take your girl to, on her 18th birthday to Tuscany. Let's say, I'm not saying you do, but let's just say you did.
Yep.
Why would you not pick up a phone? The trade-off doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, definitely.
The payoff of having a business that works, that throws off cash, that puts a team around you, that gives you time, is so much better than the pain of picking up the phone and ringing people you don't know.
Yeah, it's good.
And that comes back
That's
to my
good.
point number one. You got to have a bigger vision.
Yep.
See, too many people sit in a place that they're dissatisfied with, but it's not so uncomfortable that they really want to move.
Yep.
When you hang up,
totally
you should go and watch that snippet from the movie Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith.
Yeah.
What made it work for him in that movie was he had nowhere else to go. There was no other option. You get yourself to the point where you're totally dissatisfied with where you are and you'll do anything.
Yeah, true. That's good. No, I like it, Wez.
How about this for a bit of accountability, Cam? How about you, by Friday this week, you send a message to the Business Greenhouse Facebook page saying, I did my calls.
Will do. It's on.
You're awesome. Bless you, buddy.
Yep. Cheers, Wez. Take care.
Bit of coaching right there. Bit of coaching on the show. I see a nice bit of encouragement coming through the feed too with comments, which is really nice to see. All right, have you got any questions? Otherwise, we're going to put a wrap on episode 45. Well, gang, I'll be back on Thursday to do episode 46. And I've got something really special for you this Thursday. Plus, I'm going to do a giveaway show. So make sure you're dialing in on Thursday because I'm going to be giving away some really cool stuff for you guys. And in the meantime, do me a favor. Tell your friends that we exist. Tell your friends there is a Kingdom Business podcast. Tell your friends we have Kingdom Business TV. Tell your friends we're putting out content every day on Facebook. Tell your friends about the Kingdom Business Network. Do me a favor. Help me raise up a large army of people so that we can create change in this country and beyond. It's been a delight hanging out with you. I'll see you Thursday. See ya.